So I'm excited today because one of my buddies agreed to get on a call with us and share with us what he's doing to sell, recruit, and build. And he's been a great example as I've watched him grow. I spent time with him on Andy's Plane. Mike Morice, who is his aunt is aunt is Diane Lampy, and he's up in the Chicagoland area. Has a new baby. Any baby under the age of 16 to me is a new baby. No, just kidding. Especially when they're out of the house, But new child, his lovely wife Kate, and he's killing it, man. So that I saw him at our Florida, Dallas at the Integrity Marketing meeting, and man, he's rocking the house. He was telling me the stuff he was doing on using Facebook leads. I thought, man, why don't you come on our call and talk about what you're doing on sales, what you're doing to build your team, because he's a new agency manager and on his way to DM, RM, et cetera, EVP, board member, partner. So I'm very excited to bring him on. So Mike Morice, you out there in conference call land?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
There he is, my man. I'm excited to have you on. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, with my team. I know they're excited to hear from you. And you were on our call last year, talking about what you were doing on our telemarketed leads.
Yep.
And how you were meeting people face to face and all of that. Now you've transitioned to doing the Facebook leads and whatever. So, but I'm just going to turn it over to you, dude. And I want you to talk about, what you're doing on the Facebook leads and other lead programs, kind of your mode of selling and your schedule and kind of your mentality and your goals of what you're trying to accomplish every week in terms of the numbers. And I'll prompt you with questions too. And then how do you integrate selling with building a team and being on the phone, helping your agents and recruiting? Like I've got guys that say, Alex, I can't recruit because I'm selling, or I can't sell because I'm recruiting. It's like, that's no excuse, you got to work, man. So I'd love to kind of unlock the secrets for our people with some of that. So man, rock and roll, dude. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on the call, Alex. And yeah, always great seeing you, bud. I know every time we bump into each other, it's like we keep bumping each other at these amazing events. So it's cool. We always catch up and kind of see how things are going. I know we talked volleyball a little bit too, and that was one of the first things we were chatting about in Andy's Plane. So that's always a good talk to have. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. Really appreciate you guys giving your time this morning, right before the end of the year, to kind of cap things out and just, hit that ramp to shoot you off into 2022. NatCon's going to be an amazing event. If you haven't looked into it, definitely check it out with Alex or talk to the person that brought you into the business. Super excited about it. But yeah, last time Alex and I were chatting and we're just kind of going over some new things that are happening in my business. And, he just kind of asked, he was like, hey, can you kind of share some of those things that you're doing? And I'm going to bring up a few different things today. And one of my main focuses, it is going to be about these Facebook online internet form leads. Now, those types of leads, and it's kind of crazy because I don't make a huge change in my script from this type of lead compared to your direct mail leads that we get from NAA. It's basically the same exact script. So I'm going to kind of just start out with a little bit of the info on it and kind of give you my mindset first. Talk to you a little bit about the step-by-step in that present or the actual phone call. I'll kind of just do like a mock call really quick so you can get my script start to finish. And then I'll kind of talk to you a little bit more about the scheduling and how I'm incorporating this to help build my team in other cities across the country. So every time I get a lead, I look at it as an opportunity. There's a name, there's a phone number, there's an address. Someone's reaching out, someone needs help. They have a spark of interest at some point about what we can do to help them. So anytime I'm grabbing a lead, if that person's not answering the calls, right, wrong phone number, right, person's not there anymore, right? I'm getting to that door. Somehow I'm getting in front of that person, because it is so crazy, Alex. Sometimes you'll have a person that you call on the phone and they are like the biggest jerk, right?
Yep.
And they hang up on you, they cuss you out, whatever. And you end up showing up at that door, when you're in the field, and they're like the nicest people. And it's so crazy, because it blows my mind, because I just like, after a little while, you get tired of those hangups, the clicks. It's going to happen. It happens to the best of us. But you go out there and you just get face to face with someone, elbow to elbow, and it's like night and day the difference. So I always encourage everyone on our team, and everyone period, just say, hey, look, you might be just dealing with a person that had a bad day, or maybe they get 100 phone calls from all these other places during the day. Because a lot of seniors, I'm sitting down. Yesterday I was with a client and I was running business, and I was sitting down and her phone was blowing up every few minutes. And she's just like showing me their phone and it says scam likely. She's like, Mike, I get these calls all day long.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, wow. It's like, glad you took my third ring in a row, because these guys really don't do that. But always triple dial. I always triple dial them. But yeah, as soon as these leads are coming through, the nice thing about these Facebook leads, there's a company I use called Bang Bang. You can get them online, 15 to 20 bucks. Great deal on them. And they shoot pretty quick. So I'll get a text message. And then also there's a CRM that pops them up too. And you'll get a PDF with them as well. And so what would happen is they're filling out some online form, whether it's on Facebook, some website. I'm not even 100% sure. But the thing is, Alex, I don't even bring up that they filled out a form when I'm doing
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
So before, I used to ask them, and then, whatever they would say, I would come back. Like, honestly, most people don't remember it. But now what I'm doing, I'm just literally just saying this. When I get on the phone with someone, I'm just going, hey, Alex. They respond. I just go, hey, Alex, this is Mike. I was calling from the benefit center here in Cook County, and I was calling regarding a package that I have ready to go out to you. And I was just making sure you guys are still living at the 123 Main Street in Chicago. Is that correct?
Yeah, the address is correct. What package?
Excellent, Alex. So my job is simple. It's just to get you the information and go over it with you. And they have me out there tomorrow around 8, 9 a.m. and then later around 1 or 2. Which one works better for you?
Well, I'm usually more available in the morning.
Morning? Okay, yeah. Great, Alex. Again, my name is Mike. I'll be driving a white Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I'm a taller, good-looking guy with glasses, so you won't really miss me. But I appreciate you taking the time. I'll look forward to seeing you in the morning. You have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Yeah. Okay, so when they say, like, what package are you referring to? What are you talking about?
I'll come right back and I'll just say, oh, it says on here the state regulated programs and that your current age is 68. Is that correct?
Okay, good. I love it. So you kind of redirect with a question. So you kind of, you answer the objection, you answer it, and you sidestep it, and then you ask another question to stay in control. So I say, well, yeah, that age is right. It's state regulated.
Okay. Great. They have me out there tomorrow for a ton of stops. So would the morning around 9 or 10 work, or later in the afternoon around 1 or 2 be better? Okay, great. So you go back into just booking the appointment. Just book the appointment, answer it, book the appointment, sidestep, book the appointment. And that's great. That's great. What other objections do you typically run into? I don't have the time, too busy. And I'll come back. I'll say, hey, look, you got appointments tomorrow, or are you working? I try to figure out their schedule. So if they come back, oh, I'm just super busy tomorrow. Okay. Are you working tomorrow, or you have doctor's appointments? Oh, I got doctor's appointments. Okay. What time do you think you'll be back home? I'll be home around 4. Perfect. My name is Mike. I'll be driving a white Jeep Grand Cherokee. I'm a taller, good looking guy with glasses. So you can't really miss me. I'll be swinging by just after 4 o'clock, maybe around 5 or 6. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. You have a great rest of your day. Yeah, it's great. So you go back to booking, and then, I like it. That's how we've always taught answering objections: sidestep, acknowledge, go for booking the appointment. And
And if you're not tall, good looking, you could say, I'm short, fat, and double chin. And I'm this short, fat Filipino guy. I'll be coming to you.
I learned that one from one of my appointments like a month or so ago when I said, "Hey, I'm this taller guy with glasses," and he was just like, "Hey, are you good looking too?" And I was just like, "Sure, why not?" And then I showed up to the appointment. I was sitting down with him. He's like, "Hey, you should incorporate that into your call. You should tell him you're good looking." I was like, "All right."
If you get them laughing, right? If you inject a sense of humor, and they warm up to you like that, then for me anyway, anytime I've injected humor and they're laughing, it's usually a good appointment. Like I will close those. Like I know I'm going to close it because they have that good humor. They're feeling good about stuff, and I'm rocking. So oh, that's
And
great, dude.
I
love it.
noticed too, man, even with that small giggle from them, it takes it from their mindset of trying to question what this is.
Yeah,
It's almost like you're filling in that gap of them trying to ask you something about why you're coming over, what you're doing. You get them to giggle a little bit. It's like it just makes it smoother. They see that you're coming by at a certain time, cool, and then it's just like you're off the call. And I try to do that shotgun schedule. So when I
yeah,
say that, I'm shooting for 20 appointments in the next 2 days.
yep.
So I do 10 tomorrow and 10 the day after. So when I'm scheduling to kind of jump into that and switch gears a little bit, I'm scheduling on the hour every hour. So I'm doing, hey, between 8 and 9, 9 and 10, 10 and 11. So I'm doing the hour appointments, and I'm not giving them a specific time, but I'm saying, all right, would that, you heard me in the beginning, hey, would between 8 and 9 work out, or would something between 1 and 2 be better? And whichever one they're choosing, boom, I know in that time frame I can scoot over there. But I learned that, after that first swing with them, if they're not picking a specific one, that's when I become a little bit more vague and say, would the morning or afternoon work out? And whichever one they choose, Alex, I'm not even really digging deeper for more details from them, because if I can figure out they're going to be around in the afternoon, that opens up my schedule, and it says, okay, well, I have this other guy that's been between 1 and 2, and this other guy that's been between 2 and 3, and this other person said anytime in the afternoon. It's like perfect. So if I get a no-show at 1 or 2, then I can shoot over to that guy that's at any time in the afternoon. Or if both of those show up, I'll shoot out to that guy after those 2 appointments, because it's still considered to be the afternoon around 3-4 o'clock. So
That's cool. So what you've done is you found the people that had more flexibility because they spoke with more flexibility, and then the people that are more specific, you knew where those are going to fit in your calendar, and the other ones kind of fill in the gaps. And with the no-show rate, like typically, what is your show rate? Because when I ever did that, I did every hour on the hour, and I'd say, now look, the way I did is like I might be a half hour early, half hour late. Are you okay with that? So I try to give that gap, right, so I can have the flexibility. Anytime I did that, the no-shows fit in perfect. Like I get a no-show, then I'd be able to go early to an appointment. And then appointment took longer. I go to the next appointment, there were a no-show. And then I go to the next one. So it always worked out for me. It sounds like it worked out for you.
yeah. So my sit ratio is pretty decent. So when I'm getting 10 appointments, I'm at least sitting down with like 7 people. So I'm
Oh, that's
getting
great.
to those appointments. And the funny thing is, Alex, too, is I know show appointments sometimes,
Yeah. Is that cool?
which is
I mean,
crazy.
we don't want to do that, but you are in total control of your income when you're actually apologize. Hey, look, I'm just so jammed. And instead of you begging for appointments, you're waiting at a McDonald's because your next appointment is 2 hours later. That does nothing for your waistline, nor does it do anything for your attitude.
Hey, but one really quick tip too on that. And I pulled this off yesterday. So on Tuesday, I had an appointment in the afternoon that was just in a different part of the city. There was no way I was going to make it. I ended up going to a few other appointments because I was writing business, and in those appointments, you're in love with the one you're with, right?
That's right.
So I ended up going to that same appointment yesterday on Wednesday when I set it on Tuesday
I
in
love
the
it.
afternoon. But get this, dude, I show up and she was there, and I just did the same time between 1 and 2 o'clock on Wednesday. And I showed up like I set that appointment on that day. And she was just like, hey, I was like, hey, it's Mike, Jacqueline, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm here to get through the stuff. She's like, okay. And I sat down, I wrote two applications, her and her husband, like it was business as usual. And I was just like, whatever. She probably didn't even remember that I said it on Tuesday. So I just went on Wednesday and wrote it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? And they're probably thinking in their mind like, oh, yeah, it was today. No clue. I love it. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny that I made that happen yesterday. I was like, all right, so I'm gonna start doing that more too. Because if you're in that area, why not?
Why not, man? That's good stuff right there.
And then when I'm in the field too, I have all my leads nearby, whether it's a digital copy, I'll search by zip code. So, there's certain areas of the city I'll be in. So if I'm on the west side or the south side or the suburbs, I can pull up a zip code really easy and just start looking through all my leads and seeing what zip code those other ones are at. So if I get a no-show or if there's a gap or whatever, I'm pulling them up. And honestly, I don't really even show them too much when I get to the door. I just say, hey, my name is Mike Morice. I've been trying to call you, at your 708 number. It's about the, final expense, state regulated programs. You got a few minutes. Simple.
Yeah, that's great. So you're just kind of refreshing that idea that, it's something that they filled out, assumptive that they filled something out. I'm here to take care of it. That's cool. Very cool. I love it. And
yeah,
it's
man.
great. C-Game, what you're hearing here is someone who's very organized. He's got a game plan on what he's going to do. He executes the game plan and has really derived a level of efficiency that's very tremendous. But when you started, you weren't like this, right? You learned how to be like this.
Everything's hard before you get good at it, right? So
that's right.
No way, man.
Absolutely, dude. Well, good stuff. Well, keep rocking, man. I love it.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, another thing I'm doing a lot, just based off of just going out and run business, I'm going to other cities too. So I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the building side of it too. I make it out to Tampa. I get out to other areas where I've got new agents starting up. Next week, I'm going to be in Tampa on Thursday and Friday, and we've got a brand new agent who just got licensed. Her name is Christy, and she's going to pick me up from the airport. We're going to go run some appointments together. And, awesome. when I'm doing that, I'm doing these ride-alongs. I'm letting them set up the appointments. I'm sitting in the appointment with them, and I encourage them, say, look, you get through as much as you can. You need help, you just turn your head over to me. You turn your head over to me, then I know that's when I can step in and kind of help you out. Or if I see some things again, you're losing a little bit of the conversation or whatever it is, I'll step in, help you out, make sure we can take care of it. But I'm really there as that backup to really be that support system for them and just say, hey, we're just going in here and having a conversation with this family. We're going to see where their needs are at and see how we can help them. Nothing more than that. So I try to bring that nervousness that, hey, I'm the guy watching you over your shoulder right now. No, it's, hey, let's go sit down with this family. Let's go see how we can help them. Your hands are on the steering wheel to start, and, you need some help with it. I'll step in, and wherever you need questions answered, that's why I'm here. If someone needs
very cool.
more details, that's where I'm going.
To put some positive pressure on them to book your calendar. If you're going to fly out there and spend your time, energy, effort, and expertise to help them, they better dadgum have their calendar filled up, right? Which means they got to order some leads and they got to get on the phone. And they got to, because you're not just going to go out there to waste your time and money. I love that positive pressure. So let's get back to like your lead investment every week, and what are you writing every week? Just, based on your goal is 40 appointments a week, or is it 30 appointments a week? Kind of what is your goal?
Yeah, 40 appointments a week is my goal. So I try to do 10 each day on the 4 business days that I run. So it's Monday, dial day, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 appointments, Thursday, dial day, Friday, Saturday, 10 appointments. So my lead investment, I do anywhere between, I would say I'm usually ordering about 30, either 30 or 50 of the Bang Bang leads, right around there each week. And I've got a GMR set up that shoots direct mail leads to me. It's not a huge one, so I get a few of those every week too. But the Bang Bang leads have really been the biggest one that I've been going after, just because I know John over there, he's like the Facebook leads. He's just shooting them to me quick, and I'm getting them fast. I'm getting on the phone with the people quick. I'm getting out there and writing the business. Typically what I'm writing each week, I know last week, I think I issue paid like 8,900, but right around there is usually around like 8 grand, maybe a little bit more, closer to 10 sometimes, depends on, how many referrals I'm getting to. And ERS, emergency response system, guys, if you haven't learned that yet, it's the simplest way to increase your ROI in this business. There's lots of training on it. If you just go to the Alliance YouTube page, or Alex, I'm sure you got something on the ERS that just totally helps out. And that's kind of
what's your average per client on your ERS? You're getting like at least 10?
I aim for 10. I mean, honestly, I usually get like 4 or 5. Sometimes I'll get a little bit more than 10, if I've got 2 people I'm sitting down with, because then I've got 2 heads to work on it. But most of the time when I'm doing the ERS, I'm making sure I'm getting all the kids. So the beneficiaries for sure. I'd even consider the kids or the beneficiaries not being on the ERS. Like when I'm doing that referral sheet, I already have the beneficiaries' names written down on that ERS sheet, and I'm just asking for their phone numbers and which town they're living in. And then I'm getting into the other family members or friends, neighbors, whoever else.
And when we're talking seniors, when we mean they're kids, we're talking 30-year-olds and like middle-aged adults that can do, like you do some IULs, and that's where you can get into the big money from a final expense client to their children. And then it just, it like blows up from there. Opportunities abound for free.
Grandbabies. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's the first. So every appointment I walk into, so on my phone, I got a picture of my son, MJ. He's about to turn 1. His birthday is, it's NatCon weekend, 122.
Oh, dude, seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So he's going to be out there with us that weekend. So,
awesome.
Yeah, he's got the same birthday as Spencer, Andy.
Oh,
son.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. But, I always show the picture of MJ, like as soon as I'm walking in the door, and that's when I kind of just transition into their grandkids. It's such an easy conversation, and it just breaks down that wall right away, and it puts a smile on their face. I mean, any grandparent talking about a grandkid, they just instantly light up. So it's so simple.
Absolutely. To me, that's low-hanging fruit, baby. Low-hanging fruit. We used to call it a Head Start program. So you ever heard of the Head Start program? And they go, they heard of it because it's that college thing. It's like, I think so. Well, our Head Start program helps your grandchildren get started with a great program to get them started with life insurance, and they can blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. It's a way of getting into the conversation, covering their grandkids. Like Mike said, man, they're all about their grandkids.
Oh yeah. And that really helps get over that hump almost, or that initial speed bump in the home. Because when you're doing a schedule like I'm doing, so when I'm saying that shotgun schedule, right? 10 appointments Tuesday, 10 appointments Wednesday, most of the time they don't even know what's going on. You're just showing up at their door, and you have a little bit of info on them, right? And I talked to Chris Manifold about this too, and the reason I asked him, and this was in Dallas, he issue paid, I think, about 38 grand in about 3 weeks. So he knew something about what to do in this business, and he's doing very similar things. I pulled up this script, the whole conversation from him and what I'm doing. So I'm giving him credit because he's the one I plagiarized it from, copy and paste. That's what you do in this business.
By the way, dude, we just had Chris on our call like about a month
ago. Really?
Yeah, he went through this whole thing. Chris. So this is like perfect.
I love that guy. But he was telling me, and this is something that I was like, hey, dude, what's going on when you get to the door after you set these appointments like you're setting them? I was like, sometimes, you get in front of them and just like, it's tough. Maybe it's just like they put up that wall instantly, and there's just asking all these questions. And this is the reality, guys. You're going to get in front of a lot more people, And the bottom line is you're still going to have to do a little bit of convincing to sit down with them to get through this info. And that's fine, because if you would have gone through your old script or whatever script you had before where you weren't getting as many results or as many appointments, look at it this way. If you weren't setting the appointment, you wouldn't have that opportunity to see what you can do for that client.
That's
or
right.
that person, that family. Because I've sat down with people and I've seen the policies that they have where they think it's a whole life, or they think the policy is going to be there forever, or their family's going to get 500 grand and they're paying $15 a month. And
Yep.
it's like, dude, that's an accidental great product. I can probably get one for a little bit less for you too. But if you pass away of just natural causes, your family's not getting nothing. So it's like, you got to get over their understanding of what they think it might be, and setting up that shotgun schedule and getting in front of them and just having that little conversation of, you get to the door. Hey, I'm Mike. Yeah. So how long you been living here? And it's really the rapport that kind of helps you smooth out that speed bump in the beginning for you to get to know that client, and then eventually transition into the ATM and see where the needs are at. And I really hope that point kind of drives in with you, because you can set up a ton of appointments, but when you get in front of them, trust me, you gotta step in, start getting that rapport going, and just smooth it into the ATM. And some of the easiest things to talk about are family, the hometowns, things like that. And like I said, that's why I got a picture of my son on my phone I have a picture of my son on my phone because it's my son, but it's a very easy thing to talk about. I just show a picture to that client, like within the first minute, just to kind of get that conversation going, that wall brought down. And it's just simple questions that really help me transition into helping that client out.
Yeah, I talk about bond rapport all the time, because if you don't have it, man, you're marching uphill, man, and you're just trying to push the ball uphill. Well, when you do have it, man, it's all downhill from there. And if they're dog lovers, have pictures of your dog. If you're seriously like dog lovers, when their dog runs up to you, man, I'm on the floor and I'm petting that dog. I love dogs, by the way. Jenny won't have a dog in the house, but I love dogs. I'm all over the dog. And when they see you all over their dog, you instantly endear yourself to them, because they love, and all dogs love me for some reason. Like, I get this all the time. It's like, wow, I can't believe he's like, and they're amazed that their dog loves me, because I don't know, I just love dogs. So that will just knock it down. Like, just like your picture of your child. Oh my gosh, man. Absolutely. So if you're older and you've got grandkids, man, your phone better have immediately all your grandkid pictures, and you can start trading pictures of your grandkids. It's a done deal right there, man. Good job. I love it. So, man, give us the good stuff. Give us some more good stuff, man.
I mean, heck, dude, I'm just getting after it, man. I'm going for partners. So it's just like, what can I do to not only increase my production, but help the team at the same time? I love doing these types of calls. I do Friday calls, catch-up calls is what we call them, with our team before the activity call, just to kind of see what's going on in everyone's business, let them ask questions. I'm always reading every single morning. So, I pick up something that I'm always sharing out of something I read on those calls. But really, it's really just creating that higher standard, that higher limit for myself.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. I have the saying, commitment to continuity yields emotional stability. At what point in your getting started with us through your learning, because we've got a lot of new people on here, that you made the transition from being sporadic and being emotional and feeling depressed because you didn't make a sale today, and all that ups and downs of a 100% commission salesperson, and you were like, you became the man, like you became the full-time provider at a certain point, right? Because your wife, I guess, didn't she get out of the pharmaceutical thing, or?
No, I was doing the pharmaceutical. So I was doing the pharmaceutical, and then I did this on the side, and then I was able to switch out of that and really doing it part-time on the side.
So tell me that transition from being emotional and not being consistent to being consistent and letting your emotions just, because you started trusting the process and the discipline where the emotion just was no factor anymore. Tell us about how you transitioned from there to there.
Absolutely. Biggest thing was schedule. I was very surgical, and I'm very intentional when I say that word, because with my time, when I was doing a full-time pharmaceutical job, I didn't have the time to mess around, man. I had my set evenings to make my dials, and I had my set weekends to go run the business. So when I was doing that, it was like Thursday and Fridays, I was making dials, and I was setting up Saturdays and Sundays, and I was going out and I was running the business those 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, half Thursday, half Friday, because I was doing dials. And I was looking at my schedule so tight. And I know Belle Krause talks about this too, because that's how she started. Saturday was her dial, or Saturday was her game day. That's what we call it. The game day is you're out, you're getting after it, you're writing business, you're in the home, you're getting it done. So I think when I was first doing this part-time, it really helped me kind of compact, my efforts, and really understand, where I have to place my focus and stay organized with it. So, I stay very organized on my calendar. I put stuff in it, I'm doing it. I have calls on there, I'm getting them done. If I have my dial session, this is when I'm doing my dials. This is when I'm running the business. This is when I'm going out for appointments. This is when I'm doing the recruiting. This is when I'm in Tampa running business with other agents, doing an opportunity meeting and training afterwards. So I think the biggest thing was I knew the numbers would work out. Everyone gets those days in the field, right? You're going to have a crap start. You have a no-show or two, or you sit down with a few people and it wasn't happening for them. Maybe they're all set in what you can help them with, and they're already have an agent, or they already have an advisor, all that stuff. And you're just like, or they can't afford it, whatever it is. It's like, you just don't get it done. Right. It's that second part of that day. You kind of look at days in these sections almost. You try not to have, those couple appointments ruin the day. You can have a bad appointment, a bad hour. Don't let it be a bad half day. Don't let it be a bad day, a bad week, bad month. None of that. The more you start looking at it as, hey, every door I get to, every person I'm chatting with, it's a clean slate. And I try to do that every single door I go to. I forget about what happened before, that last appointment, that last door that was slammed in my face, whatever it was. Because I've had those days where the door slammed in my face, gone out to my car. I'll never forget one day, door knocked. This lady literally slammed the door in my face. I go to my car and I grab my glasses to like clean them, and my glasses broke. And I was just literally, dude, and I need these to like drive. So I had like one of the things just gone, and I had 3/4 of my glasses left on my face to make it to my next appointment. So when I showed up to that appointment, I just tossed my glasses. I was like, screw it. I don't even need these in the home. I'll just get in there. And, I turned that day around. And I remember just like, changing my mindset. And Tony Robbins talks about, your physiology, your actual, you create the movement, and you create, that thought process in your head that you can take care of it, that you can do this. Don't let those other outside environments, change what you think you can do. So I have a little move that I do before every appointment. I know people, some of the guys on my team, they know that I do this type of stuff, and I do it before calls and a lot of different things as well. But it kind of puts me in a mindset, like the state of mind that, I'm untouchable, that I'm going to go in there, I'm going to start fresh. And it's kind of like a reset button each time I'm going to that door. So I try to just have that reset button, man. I try to have it at every door I go to. Doesn't matter what that last appointment was. I just get out there and just get it done, and just create that tight schedule so I can have as many opportunities as possible.
In the neuro-linguistic programming world, we call that anchoring. And what Andy Albright does before he goes on stage, if you ever watch him, if you're backstage watching him, he taps his chest. He does this with a fist, taps his chest, and that's his anchor that says, okay, man, I'm on. People are depending on me. to serve them and give them the good stuff so they can grow. And he just taps his chest. That's his thing. And it immediately puts him in a state, and it's something that you practice. And as soon as you do that, it puts you in this whole different state that you're ready to rock and roll. And you look at athletes have that same kind of ritual where they do something. It's called an anchor. And that's how you forget. Like I remember, dude, like when I get no-showed like 5 times in a row, I almost think like, holy crap, my 9 o'clock appointment called my 10 o'clock appointment. They said, hey, this dude's coming over to sit down with you. Why don't you no-show him? In my mind, it was coming up with all these scenarios, like my 10 o'clock called my 11 o'clock. And they all told them not to show up. I'm going like, and I thought, yeah, that's no way, right? So every opportunity is a new opportunity. They're independent. They're not interrelated, That's really good. Here's what I love also about what you said before about your schedule. I have agents that are working a job and they'll say, man, I just can't do this part-time. I need to go full-time, Alex. I just want to quit my job. I know that if I go full-time, I'm going to kill it. And I'm going, oh my gosh, dude. If you can't discipline yourself with the time you have, how in the heck are you think you're going to discipline yourself when you have all this time? Like, prove it to your wife, prove it to me, that with the time you have, you can be disciplined, that you can dial on Thursday, Friday, blow it up Saturday and Sunday. Like, get on that schedule, dude. And once you prove it to yourself and to me and to your spouse that you can make that work, then I will trust you to quit your job because I know you'll make, 200 grand a year doing this, right? I love when you kind of went into that mode before you quit your job. And look, dude, you're making bucks as a pharmaceutical rep. You wouldn't just leave willy-nilly without knowing that you could do this, right?
That's right.
Oh man, you got me fired up, dude. So, who's got questions, man? Anyone got any questions for my man, Mike? You can unmute, hit your space bar. I sometimes don't get a lot of questions because people are like shell-shocked that it's this simple, right? It's work, but it's this simple. And I think people get too much in their heads. It's just a head game, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's that.
Hey Mike, I got a question when you have a chance.
Absolutely.
Hey, John, it's John Femiano. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you, bud.
Thanks for taking the time out.
Absolutely.
So I have a question. With developing your downline, right? You have any suggestions to get people that are just not responding? How to get them back in the game? How to get some of these inactive people to get them back into the game?
You got to spark some type of interest. You got to figure out what was motivating them in the first place. Why did they join the business in the first place? You got to dig those deeper levels with them. And once you start figuring out what's motivating them, that's how you can start seeing from their perspective on why they wanted to do this business in the first place. There's always going to be one reason why they joined. You got to figure out that one reason and start bringing it in front of them again and start inviting them to the next call, the next event, whatever it is. It starts with those little steps. And Alex, I know we've probably all heard it before from Andy. It's like, how do you train? What is it? I think it's the story is, how do you train like a dolphin or a whale? I think it's a whale. You put the rope at the bottom of the pool and you give them a little fish over that rope, and then you raise the rope a little bit higher, and then you give them another fish, and then you raise the rope higher. So then they start understanding, they jump over the higher rope. So when you start out with small things, hey, jump on this call tomorrow. We got this guy that's going to be doing training on the Facebook leads. It'll be a great jumpstart for you in 2022 how to set appointments. Just come take a look and hear about it. Start small with things and just kind of get them to start showing up for things here or there. But you got to get back into that one reason they joined the business, and start bringing it in front of them again.
That's a great point, dude. What I find is lack of belief. The reason why people unplug is they don't believe they can make money with us. And when you find out why they wanted to make money with us, and then show them that you build their belief. And every little call like this one, it's like, wow, I can do that. when they start saying, well, I could do that, then you start believing that this business could make them money. And then you just leverage that. That's why we promote the conference so hard, is that allows them to believe even more. Like, it's hard for me to say, you can do this thing, but it's better for someone like Mike Morice, someone different than me, to say, look, this is all I do. And, I was where you were at, but now here's where I'm at now. And you can do this. And they start thinking, wow, I really can. Mike's a normal guy. He's a normal person just like me. And that's what our system does. You only have a limited ability to do it yourself. You have to rely on the system to help build belief in your people. That's why I could have said exactly what Mike said, but it's different coming from Mike. It's different coming from, that's why I have guests on these calls, like Chris Manifold, right? Like, he's the nerdy engineer, never sold a thing in his life. And he figured out, you know what, I need to start building rapport with these people. Otherwise, they're just going to think I'm a sales guy. And this is a nerd engineer who's starting to figure out, well, if I just ask them questions about themselves, they're going to warm up to me. He totally did it by trial and error. His personality is very introverted. If you guys remember him on the phone, so exactly, dude, you hit the nail on the head. So recruiting ads, I got a question on what are you doing for recruiting ads to help find candidates to recruit?
Absolutely. I got a few things going. So I'm doing Craigslist ads, and then I got some Facebook videos out there. And then I know PC, President's Club, they're doing those interviews for my recruiter. So I've got a recruiter that's out in Indiana. She works remote. She's been working for me for a few years. She does a great job. So she also supplements those recruiting calls by making them, and then just anywhere and everywhere, man. I mean, when I'm out and about, I'm talking to people. I know when we were in Dallas last, when I was flying back, there was a young lady that was working at one of the bars right by our gate. And we're just, me, Kate, and my son, MJ, we're just there waiting for our flight. And she just had, a really good friendliness to her. She was, talking with us, just seemed like a very natural, easy conversation. And that's when we just kind of asked her, hey, you ever open to making some extra money outside of what you're doing here? And she was just like, yeah, I actually am kind of looking for something. The hours here are crazy. I can't leave the airport until the last flight goes out. It's nuts. I only work a certain amount of days because, everything's changed with the pandemic. So just like having those open conversations with people. And I'll tell you, man, one of the strongest legs I have in Chicago, it all started from an Uber driver who his ex-wife worked at an insurance company who brought on a lot of different agents. So I always think back at that conversation, man. It's serious. That happened like around 3 years ago. And one of my strongest legs in Chicago, it all started from just my Uber driver and I having a simple conversation, inviting him out to an opportunity meeting. And then I just saw that tree grow.
That's good stuff, dude. Hey, so what, another question, when you get pandemic type pushbacks like the COVID, well, I don't want anyone to come to my house, how do you handle those?
So a few different ways. Chicago, it's a little bit different with the weather. The summertime, it was a little bit easier to say, hey, no worries. I'll bring a chair. We can sit out on a front porch. Do you have a front porch or a driveway? I'll be wearing a mask. Your health is just as concerned as my own. So we are very healthy with all of this, but we keep our distance. So would, the morning or the afternoon work out for you? So that's what I would do when the weather wasn't as crazy. But any other time, I'm just still saying, hey, I keep my distance. I'll be wearing a mask, and then I'll just go back. Hey, your health is as much a concern as it is for us. And then I reclose again and say, hey, with the morning or afternoon, be better. It's very brief, 10, 15 minutes. So I kind of swing back a little bit on it. And then I kind of just rebook the appointment and see where I can go from there.
That's good. That's good. Chris, I love what Chris Manifold does. What he does is he'll do the same thing. He'll say, now look, all I need to do is see you. Now, what I'll do is I'll sit in my car and we can talk on the phone, and I'll do electronic application in the car. And then all I need to do is see you at the door, so that he'll fall back on that. And he
That's
says
good.
he'll write a ton of business when he's sitting in his car in front of their house. I go, oh my gosh, that's so brilliant.
I love it. All I need to do is see you. I can sit outside. That's amazing.
Yeah, all I need to do is see you, because he's with them, right? He
Yeah.
saw them. He's with
That's
them,
true.
and then he does the electronic app on in his car.
That's perfect.
I know. Anyway, that was pretty cool. Any other questions, gang? Well, dude, I'm fired up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before you leave,
Mhm.
you mentioned it at the beginning. What kind of difference do these major functions like NatCon and leadership or family reunion in the middle of the year, what difference has those made in your business? And do you think you'd be around had you not gone to those?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would definitely not be around. You need those events to raise that level of belief. I know Alex, you brought that up too in the beginning, but there's so many nuggets, and it's crazy because you go to the events every 6 months, or I know we're going to be having more events too, which is amazing. And it's never one single nugget that you're going to learn, and there's never one single nugget I can tell you what it's going to be. I just know you're going to pick something up that's going to change your business dramatically, because when you go to these events and you start seeing the Megan Woods of the world, stepping on stage, winning Rolexes, single mom coming from a job at Applebee's and the story where she struggled. It's like you have this feeling of emotion because you're there face to face with people. And I think Andy said this the other day on TWC. It's like there's a difference between hearing these stories or hearing the training and smelling smelling them. I think he said was,
Yeah,
it's the difference of the emotional, the emotional standpoint, the emotions that you get by being there in person. It's a whole different ball game when you're out face to face and you're learning these things about your business, because it's going to hit you a lot harder. And I know Tony Robbins talked about this too, was emotion added in with information is how you can remember things. So, we all remember 9/11, right? So that was an extremely emotional day, right? Can you remember 8/11 of that same year where you were?
not at all.
Probably not. No idea, right? It's the events that create the emotion, that create that different thought process in your head for you to remember. And it's going to help you build that confidence, change the mindset, and just freaking go, man. It just shoots off like a rocket when you hit these events.
Absolutely. Well, dude, you rocked it, man. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see you at National Convention.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, man. I'm so excited
you
for
all
it.
get to see how tall he is when you come. And he'll be there with his lovely wife, Kate, and MJ.
That's right.
MJ, he lives in Chicago. Anyway.
Michael
on,
Jr.
Man.
Michael Jr., not Michael
Michael
Jordan.
Jr. That's right, Michael Jr. All right, gang. God bless everybody.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Dude, thank you so much, man. I know 2022 is going to be a great year for all of us. And it's partners like you, man, that I'm just so excited to be in business with, because you serve the team. Your growth is a great example, and it helps my business grow too. So, man, rock on. God bless everybody. We'll see you next time. So happy New Year. And 2022 just started right now. So God bless. Take care.